Now, let's go back to some of the other things that I mentioned at the tail end of the video. Some of the business components that I think are going to lead to success. Have you identified an accountant or an attorney who can help answer your questions? Now, this is something that's important. I think it's okay to reach out and ask some questions, and if you have the financial resources, to pay them to guide you through the services. But once you have the answers to the questions that are important to you, you can also often create an LLC or a corporation without tremendous expense online by using one of many different online services to help you do that. In addition to that, you can often go to the Secretary of State office in the state where you live. You can download the forms and you can actually file them yourself, saving a ton of money. Why pay the attorney $150 an hour to drive across town when you can drive across town for a lot less than $150 an hour? So even though you might use those experts to help you find answers, you can often do some of the legwork yourself. And I think that that's really important. Now, let's talk a little bit about location. Where do you want to be? It's important to recognize that location is one of the single most important decisions that you can make related to where you're going to locate your private practice. I do hear of people opening a private practice in their home on a part-time basis to begin with. I think that is a particularly awful idea. There are many reasons why that is an awful idea, some of them legal and ethical, and some of them simply from a business perspective. If you see clients in your home, you're never going to see clients who are richer than you in your neighborhood. And so the reality is you really limit the types of clients who potentially can help you. And by the way, in private practice, I like rich clients. I like people who are willing to pay their own bill. I like to have clients who are richer than me. That's really important. And you have to recognize that if you are seeing clients in your home, you're going to be limiting the type of clients who are going to be willing to see you. And of course, depending on the type of clients you work with and what your family circumstances are, you probably don't want some of your clients in your home. Again, ethical, boundary, and legal issues all come into play here. Now, there are a few exceptions to this. Let me share with you a couple exceptions. If you live in Manhattan, New York, it's really not uncommon for people to have their office in their home, even a dentist. And that's part of the culture of Manhattan, New York, but it certainly is not part of the culture in Wichita, Kansas, or in San Antonio, Texas, or in Binkelman, Nebraska. Now, Scott Peck, some of you remember he wrote a book in the 1980s called The Road Less Traveled, psychiatrist. He actually saw people at his house. He lived in Connecticut on an estate with horses, beautiful place, had a separate building apart from his house to actually see clients in. This sounds like an awesome place to see clients for therapy, a beautiful sort of tranquil setting where he not only had a business office, but also happened to live. There are some exceptions, but I'm going to bank on the fact that you are not the exception. And so you're going to need an office. And the place to look for an office in the current era is Craigslist.org or Craigslist.com. I think they both will lead you to the same place. And to begin looking for offices that you can afford. Now, here are a couple things that you need to consider in selecting an office. Again, location, location, location. You don't need an office that's convenient to you. You need an office where the clients are. Perhaps that's a downtown office or a growing suburban area. Or, for example, if I were in Texas, I would love to be in Arlington, right between Dallas and Fort Worth. I could draw from the entire metroplex. And so I think that you should really consider, pull up a map, a Google map of your entire vicinity and look and consider where the people live who are the type of clients that you want to work with and seek out office space in that area.